Hey everyone, Christopher Ronchio here. I am the author of the Sun Eater science fantasy series from Daw Books, as well as the junior editor with Baen Books, and work with writers like David Weber, Larry Correia, and Lois McMaster-Bujold. And I wanted to take a moment to talk to you all a little bit about my series and about what I want to do with this channel. I am the writer now of 4 books in the Sun Eater science fantasy universe, the main series of which, the 3 books you see on the screen, are the story of a young man named Hadrian Marlowe. Hadrian is a nobleman in this great galactic empire about 20,000 years in our future, who runs away from home and finds himself caught in the middle of a war between human beings and the Cielsen, the first alien species in all those thousands of years to ever stand up to us. I like to say that Hadrian is sort of like Anakin Skywalker if Anakin becoming Darth Vader were the right thing for him to do. It's written sort of like a memoir. On page 1, Hadrian tells us that he is the man who ended the war against the Cielsen and killed all of them. This series is why and how and about all of the things we don't know. The first book here, Empire of Silence, came out in 2018. It won the Manly Wade Wellman Award for the best science fiction novel written by someone from North Carolina, which is where I live. The second book here, Howling Dark, came out last summer. And the third, Demon White, over here, is coming out on July 28th of this year. I am working on reviewing the page proofs right now, which is the last step in the process. Once I get those over to my publisher, that'll be that, and it'll be on to book 4, which I am in the midst of writing as we speak. I am recording this video as a form of procrastinating from working on chapter 9. In addition to all of this, I have also written a spin-off novel called The Lesser Devil, which is set in the same universe. This one follows Hadrian's brother Crispin, who remains at home when Hadrian goes off on his ill-conceived crusade among the stars. Crispin is stuck at home, dealing with his family and trying to protect them from a generations-old feud and a secret plot to wipe out his family. I self-published this one, so in addition to being a traditionally published writer, I'm also an indie writer. As of this last month, this is my first indie title. So I've got my feet on both sides of that particular divide. In addition to which, as I say, I am also editor at Baen Books, where I have done primarily social media marketing and convention outreach and that sort of thing. But I've also done some developmental work and a little bit of acquisitions as well. So I've really gotten an eye on kind of every aspect of the publishing industry in the last 5 years. And so what I want to do with this channel is a few things. First and foremost, I want to treat it kind of as a writing journal, if you will. I want to talk about the writing process, about my progress with book 4 at this point, because there are a couple series in science fiction and fantasy that have left readers hanging for a very long time, and I'm not trying to give those writers flack. I have a great amount of respect for George R. R. Martin and Patrick Rothfuss and those guys, and they're all dealing with different, issues, and the process is different for everybody. But the long wait times have had something of a chilling effect on the entire field. I've lost customers at conventions, and even talking to people online when they realize that my series is unfinished. They are unwilling to get invested in something without a guarantee that the story is going to be carried through after having waited for years and years for certain other stories. And the only way around this that I have found is to be as forthright and transparent with you, my audience, as possible. I've been doing things like sending out a newsletter twice a month that gives people progress updates, word counts, how many chapters there are to go, things like that. And I thought that using a video series like this would be a way of not only furthering that, but humanizing it as well, getting us some face time, being able to talk about different aspects of writing, and about publishing and the various things that authors have to do to get content to readers like you. In addition to which, because of the coronavirus situation, I thought this would be a good way to sort of differentiate myself from the other science fiction fantasy writers in the field, sort of stick my head up above the battlements, so to speak, in order to to reach out to readers and to have a conversation about these sorts of things. And as I say, because I'm also an editor working with Bain now for 5 years, give or take, I think I've got a bit of a unique perspective, a bit of double vision, since I have been both editor and writer. I've been on either side of that divide. I know the sort of things editors do that frustrate authors, and I know the things that authors do that really frustrate editors. And so there's a lot of conversation to be had there. I don't know of anyone in the entire English-speaking world in science fiction and fantasy at this point in time who is both a in-house editor for a traditional publishing company. Bain is, I think, the largest independent sci-fi and fantasy publisher in the English-speaking world. We're not owned by Simon & Schuster or Penguin Random House or any of the other big houses. We make our own creative decisions still. And so I don't know of anyone, as I say, who's in a position where they work as one of these editors and also as a career publishing novels. And I'm published by a different publisher entirely. I sometimes go to conventions and have 2 badges because I will have been invited by one and my work will have gotten me another. And I think that has value, and I think that we'll be able to discuss various things, get questions from you guys, and go back and forth. And I think that'll be fun. So if you're a fan of my books, you enjoy the Sun Eater series, please do like and subscribe and stick around for more content to see what sort of things we're going to discuss. I had a bunch of people asking about my short stories, so I think I'll do a quick, walkthrough of how to find those and talk a little bit about my work as an anthologist in general in the next video. If you like science fiction and fantasy in general, please consider checking out my books. I'll leave links in the description to my author page on Amazon. Although if you want to support your local bookstore, especially in these rather unprecedented and bizarre times, I strongly encourage you to do so. I will also leave a link to my newsletter in the description, just because social media can be really overwhelming and the algorithms are getting increasingly arcane and hard to understand here on YouTube and on Facebook. And the best way to really get in contact with writers you like in particular is to see if they have a newsletter. So I'd strongly encourage you, if you're a fan, to sign up for that. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Sorry, I'm so used to people reading what it is I do. So thank you for listening. Hope you'll stick around, and until next time, I'll see ya.